welcome to Ikate's Crossing. I've tried to sit down a few times to try and do this, but I've ended up having to do some bits and pieces, some jobs, washing, all the normal stuff. It's such a gorgeous day. I wish I could show you what a gorgeous day it is in here in Hawke's Bay. Maybe, oops, if I can just lift up the blind, you might actually see. If I can just point, there we go, to outside. To give you an idea, let's have a look. Oh no, I can't quite see the sky. Just so you can sort of see the sun. I mean, isn't it gorgeous? There we go. That's my outside my window. That's the beautiful sun. Absolutely gorgeous day. And here I am inside, about to do your intuitive Friday reading. Let's put that down because I don't like the neighbours looking in. Okay, and it's better for lighting as well. Right, so where are we? Okay, so here we are, ready to do an intuitive reading. I'm going to use the Fairy Lights Tarot and the Divine Feminine Oracle. Now, when I talk about the Divine Feminine, I'm not talking about just women. I'm talking about everyone. Everyone being able to embrace their receptivity within themselves. It's the receptive energy, the yin energy, the moon energy, the lunar energy within each of us. That's what I want you to focus on when I'm talking about the Divine Feminine. I'm not talking about woman or woman. I'm talking about the essence that lies within all of us. So that's something to sort of think about, that when I'm talking about being receptive, being maybe not so logical in the thing, but trusting your gut instinct in a way, trusting that intuition. So being receptive when I'm talking about the feminine energy that comes through for each of us. Okay, so let us begin with the Fairy Lights Tarot. Let's see what lies ahead for the weekend. Already flowing out. Okay, so I felt that and that one. What lies ahead for us for the weekend as a collective? What's the energy that lies ahead? Just feeling the, taking a breath. Okay, and I'm going to find out whether this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's interesting. Okay, so I'll just stop this again. They're not in any particular order. Ah, that's interesting. Not in any particular order, but we're just going to go through and just see what cards we have. First card is 11, which is actually strength in this deck. So strength. Now, I'm not talking about a forceful strength. I'm going to remove that incense again. Really get something on my nose. It's beautiful, but when you're sitting at your table, it's a little bit small. Okay, so strength. Strength, I'm not talking about a brute force. I'm not talking about being aggressive or anything like that. This is a very gentle push in the right direction. This is about using your stamina, your endurance, being able, when you feel like you're going to give up, keep going. I also get this strength that's very quiet, that allows you to sort of really come from within, that courage that comes from within to achieve the results that you desire. This is results that you want to achieve, which is quite important. Okay, next card we have is the King of Coins. Now, the King of Coins, because we don't really have a context as such, sort of there is an opportunity of some sort that's very practical, very earthy, down to earth sort of logic. It also could be in relation to your health or your finances. Finances seem quite important. It could be about budgeting. So this is where the strength comes in, and the courage. The courage to actually make some changes in the way that you budget. Where you budget. Okay, interesting. We've got the Knight of coins as well, which tells us a slow and steady progress to where we want to be. This is a very slow and steady progress. This is not a rush. This is not a rush to where you want to be. It's not about brute force. It's not about being aggressive. This is really about a very slow journey that's going to take some time to achieve. Okay, we've got the High Priestess, and this one I'm getting about trusting your own intuition. This is about trusting in self, trusting in your own knowledge, trusting in the wisdom, what you see for yourself. This is very much about trusting. I just get a real big trust for this. Trusting in self seems really important. Now, we've got the Four of Wands in this deck, and our Four of Wands in this deck is very much about not implementing your own success, your own achievements in front of others. So maybe this may be a time to sort of stand back a little bit, not allow yourself to be completely in the forefront, not taking credit for somebody else's work, or maybe you feel somebody else has taken the credit for your work. That's quite interesting. So this one here is about not taking credit for somebody else's work, or somebody else is taking credit for your work at this time. Okay, next card here we have is the Queen, a lot of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles is about nurturing. Maybe you need some help, need some guidance, need someone to support you with your illness, or maybe you're the Queen of Pentacles and this is calling on you to take care of somebody else who's not well. Maybe you need to step up and take care of those that are less fortunate than yourself. Oh, okay, that's why this might have come up, and the fact is that somebody has taken credit for your work, and it's about you being able to say, hey, why are you taking credit for my work? But in a really gentle way. Maybe you need to look at it from their perspective. Maybe they're jealous. Maybe they've got shortcomings of their own. Maybe they've been abused. I don't know where this came from. Maybe they're being abused, and it's about you needing to sort of really take a look at what's actually going on in their life. Why are they taking credit for your work? There's something hidden about that situation. So this might be about you being gentle, not being forceful, not being aggressive about why they've taken credit for your work. Okay, this might be an opportunity for you to be very gentle, very slow with it. Don't try and rush the situation. Don't go in yelling. This is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is about life's ups and downs, alternate paths. So this tells us that there might be an alternative path for us to take at this time. Instead of going in yelling and screaming and is to take a step back and say, okay, there's an alternative path to the way we may approach the situation at this time. Interesting. Okay, we've got the Knight of Wands that threw out, the first card that flew out. So this is about some movement coming through, but it's about making sure we've got all the information first, observing the information. We know you've got passion and you've got drive, and you want to rush in there with the solution to the problems, but you might need to actually take a step back. Really important. Okay, we've got the Chariot here. So the Chariot is about contemplation before the direction being taken, but also about success and triumphant success. So there'll definitely be some success, some victory in the whole situation, but you need to think about things clearly, about the black and white path. There's no grey area in this at this time. I think there's a sense of actually, you've got to make a very clear choice about the direction you're actually moving in at this time. Okay, we've got the Devil here. So this is very much about addictions, past habits. So what has been your repeated pattern when you've come across these situations before? So maybe you need to break away from those those patterns, those repeated patterns. Maybe it's time to break away from what's holding you into those past reactions that you would normally have. So this is about changing it. So this is looking at a reading as a whole over the weekend to actually, you've got 6 of coins. This to me is about giving unconditionally. So this is really about allowing yourself to give unconditionally. What an amazing reading. I just feel like this is really going to give you some chance to reflect. I get a lot of healing going on, get a lot about your own identity, but also about trusting your gut instinct. This is about seeing the truth of the situation. I get a lot about there's been a lack of, I don't feel like there's a lot of thought going into the situation. So this is really saying you need to use your thoughts because there is a lack of thought maybe at this time, and you might need to really start thinking about the whole situation, about what's actually going on. Really interesting. Oh, I love this. A lot of court cards going on, so I feel like there's a lot of influence by other people. So you may feel yourself being influenced by others, so you need to really take a step back and sit in yourself. I think that's where the High Priestess comes in, to actually sit in yourself and trust in your own knowledge. Trust what you have, the knowledge you have within. Okay, let's see what the Divine Feminine has for us in regards to our situation. So this is about being receptive. So what receptive energy do we need to have? Okay, that was very clear. Let's see. We've got 3 cards have popped out, and we've got Teresa of Avila, which talks about, I trust the answers I find within me. I know that the presence of love is real. Now, I love that. I trust the answers that lie within me. And now isn't this just what I've been talking about here? So this is real confirmation about trusting your own, being receptive to your own intuition, being receptive to what lies within you. Interesting. So Bridget is about the goddess of the internal flame. So she says, I'm an internal flame, and each day my light grows brighter. So that's allowing you to actually take care and nurture others. Be the light. Be the light and trust in working with others and helping others and guide others and be there for others and be supportive. Really important. Okay, now we've got Saint Bridget, which is interesting. So we've got Our Lady of Exalted Light. I give endlessly because the light is without end. My soul is all I need. Lovely. What an amazing message. So that really shows that we need to just trust in who we are. It is about giving and being compassionate to others. Don't forget about, and being really giving. This is not all about us this weekend. This is about other people as well. I'm not saying, but also too, I'm also getting the sense of having boundaries is very important as well. Remember when I'm talking about giving and being receptive and all that, remember to have your boundaries as well. Make sure that you are nurturing yourself as well. So it's about having the balance. That's where I think having this courage, having the strength, having the endurance. It's also about having the balance within oneself. So that's be careful of repeated patterns where you give so much of yourself away, you burn yourself out. So this can be also a reminder to have balance, to not give repeated patterns, not have those bad addictions. You might be in that give all the time. Don't forget, it's okay to give, but also to have balance. So this can be a reminder to have that balance. Very, very important. Okay, so that's our weekend reading with the Fairy Lights Tarot and the Divine Feminine. I love the Divine Feminine by Megan Watterson. Gorgeous deck. But I want to remember that this is not just about our being a male or a female or non-binary, whoever you are within yourself. When I'm talking about the Divine Feminine, I'm talking about being receptive, being nurturing within yourself. This is very important to understand that I don't see the masculine and feminine energies as being separate, but becoming whole within oneself. So I'm talking about being receptive, being nurturing within oneself, because there's a lot of practical stuff that's very important as well. And one of them is making sure you do have the boundaries in place. I feel like this card really has a duality to it. A real sense of breaking away, removing the bad patterns, etc. But it is also about creating some boundaries, some chains which are really important, some patterns which are important as well. And that can be about saying no. So I think I've waffled on long enough with these cards. There's so much more. I could go into detail if I was doing a reading for someone. But I could go on and on and on and on. There are a lot of cards here. There's a lot about the staying grounded is very important. Looking at your finances, very important. Your health is super important. Also a sense of major aspects happening in your life. I think this is quite a big impact weekend. Could be quite impactful for someone. I'm getting a lot of impact, a lot about grounding. There's a little bit of passion, creativity, could be a bit of creativity coming through, but I feel it could also be a lack of emotions taking place. I feel like you could have disconnect from your emotions. Be very aware of that, and very careful of not being too disconnected from your perspectives. Don't be disconnected from your perspectives as well, which is quite important. I feel there's a lot of healing needing to take place. Could be a lot about communication, a lot about making sure you stay grounded, making sure you trust your gut instinct, identify with who you truly are within self. I get a lot about seeing the truth, the facts of the whole situation. So there is a whole lot of stuff that goes on with this reading that I'm starting to see as we go through. I get a sense of needing to sort of open your heart in some respect. Make sure, but don't open your heart too much. Bring it back into balance. If you're a person who gives a lot, find yourself coming back into who you truly are within yourself. A lot about communicating. Very important to be able to communicate exactly what you see, what you feel, the facts of the situation. Okay, so that's it with Hecate's Crossing. Take care and blessed be for the weekend.